Good morning. It's Tuesday morning and there's a lot happening on the farm. I got a guest from New Zealand visiting me and we're pushing hard to get things wrapped up so that we can buy ourselves some time to work on winter projects, and I'll explain what some of those are. That's coming up next on The Urban Farmer. Good morning. Haven't done a vlog in a while. It's Tuesday morning. I've got my friend Jody Roebuck from New Zealand visiting me. He's here for a week and just spent the last week doing a bunch of development on the app that I'm working on. And my partner Stephen Lachance was here. He has just left. Now I've got Jody for the week. Had guests for a while this summer. You know, Diego Fuda was here earlier. But Jody's working with us on the farm today. Mark and him are off to do some harvesting and planting at the same time. And we're packing orders right now. Starting to do some work in our greenhouse in here. Getting this bed at least positioned so I can start putting down my concrete pavers in this greenhouse. I've been meaning to do this for a while. But we're really starting to get ready for winter because we've got a big winter season ahead of us. And I finally finished my designs or my concept for this greenhouse. So this is going to be happening. We are going to be building off of the existing structure, basically going to be building a frame similar to the front of this with LVR manufactured lumber for half the greenhouse, and then the front of it will be taking this and prefabbing it to go along to the front. So we're going to have a 28-foot wide greenhouse in here with about 10-foot high ceilings, and that'll allow us to get 9 30-inch beds in there all together, and it will also allow us to have 8 rows of tomatoes next year. So on top of the 5 we had this year, 3 more. So this greenhouse will be heated, not heated in the same way this one is, but it will be heated. We'll have double layer poly, just like this with the blower, and so that'll allow us to have super early tomatoes again next year, as well as lettuce and other greens all winter long. So those are some exciting developments that's happening now. Well, I'm just in my office here looking at my planting calendar and or my planting spreadsheets, and last week was the last planting day for a lot of stuff. So and the reason it was for us is that, you know, the last planting day is often the thing that is the last time you plant a certain crop so that it has enough time to mature before it gets cold. And so I actually have this in my book. So if you have my book, go to the sheet that has all the plantings, the specs of the plantings, and you'll see last planting day. Sometimes I have a last planting day for the field or a greenhouse. So I don't grow radishes and turnips in greenhouses anymore. So last week, August 24th, was my last planting day for August and turnips. And so that's basically enough time from August 24th that these will be ready by about late September, early October, where everything really starts to slow down. And so what will often happen then is I'll plant a lot more out. So during the summer, I'm on weekly planting schedules of a lot of crops, all my greens, things that I've talked about many times before. But as we approach the fall, I'll plant out large blocks. So carrots, for example, my last planting day is the first and second week of August. And at that point, I plant out a ton of carrots because I'm not worried like I am in the summer that I'll plant stuff and then have too much and it'll be mature too fast. You can plant, you know, if I'm normally planting out 2 beds of radishes a week, in the fall I might plant out 8 beds of radishes on that last planting day as I approach the fall. So in this case, August 24th, you could plant out a ton of radishes, and you know, if they're mature by the first week of October, they're essentially just going to sit there in the field. They'll grow, but very slowly, and so you don't really have to worry about a bunch of those radishes going woody or pithy on you. You can just kind of harvest them in succession. And so that's the thinking as we approach this time of year. So right now I'm just looking at my calendar and I'm cross-referencing on my sheets. And again, if you have my book, you have all of this information. But in my spreadsheets, I always have a crop profiles thing, and then this sheet tells me what my last planting day for a lot of crops are. And so you know, radishes was last week, August 25th. things like lettuce, for example, if I were to put them in the greenhouse, my last planting day would be October 5th, and that's actually what's going to happen. We haven't even started that lettuce as transplants yet, but it will get transplanted into our new greenhouse once it's done, and then that stuff will take us into the winter. Now, if you're winter farming, that's a whole other subject. We'll talk about that another time, and I'll make continuous videos throughout the winter for you guys to learn more about what we're going to be doing in the greenhouses over the winter and how we do those planting days. But that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Okay, so my compressor for my white, this guy here, compressor for my white walk-in cooler finally tanked. I knew it was going to bite the dust at some point. I actually ordered a CoolBot ahead of time, and today I'm going to be setting this air conditioner up to run just like this cooler. So I'll make a video on that as well. Be another video. But I'm just hooking up a LG 10,000 BTU air conditioner to a CoolBot. Got like a styrofoam casing around it that's going to so that casing is going to direct the air in here, and hopefully we have our cooler back online, because in the summertime it's the worst time to not have a walk-in cooler. Well, I'm looking at the 2-week forecast right now. I'm on my deck, and I think it's time to pull off my shade cloths. We're going to be starting we've got some stuff started. We've got some basil, some winter basil started, and we're going to get some more lettuce started soon. So I'm going to peel off the shade cloth on my greenhouse, but I'm just going to peel it back. I've actually got it fastened to the top board up there, but I'm just going to pull it back just in case it does get hot. Again, I can pull it back down, but I'm going to pull it back for now. In our greenhouse in the backyard here, we've already taken one entire full row of tomatoes out. Those are the ox hearts. Just put a tarp down to eliminate any weed pressure. And our objective here now is to have this greenhouse completely finished and emptied by about the second week of September, and then we're going to start construction on the new one, and we'll be sure to giving you guys updates how that's going. Alright, we're just finishing up the last of our packing before we head out to do our deliveries, and then we take lunch. Right now I'm just going to hop on my bike and head over to our Lawrence Avenue plot to grab some tomatoes that Roger and Alen picked for us. Okay, just getting here to pick up my tomatoes, and check it out. We're starting to just pull out plants that are no longer that productive, and getting them cleared out so that we can get our fall crops in here. There will be some level of interplanting again in here this season, but not as much as last year, because our tomatoes are kind of wrapping up early. That it'd be nice if we could have one of these greenhouses cleared out before we put our greens in there, but you know, we will interplant if we have to. Just coming in here to take a look at my plot, and my spinach has germinated very well. That's good to see, but I'm also seeing right now that there is a kind of a washout. Look at the soil here. It's kind of washed out, so either an irrigation line broke or there's something screwed up with the irrigation. So I'm going to tweak around with that and see what it is. Okay, I found the problem. Had this happen a couple times this year actually, where the one of the valves right here is busted. Watch this. It's leaking, so we'll just replace that valve. You know, this timer in particular is probably 7 years old, so yeah, I got 7 years out of that valve. It's no problem. I've got some spares, so I'll come back later and fix that. All right, well, here's what I came for. Now I'm gonna load up and head back. All right, just loading up for these deliveries. All right, loaded up, got my invoices. This is a Silvacool tarp on here. It's actually a tarp. It's kind of like a space blanket. You ever seen those emergency SOS blankets? It's a similar idea. It's got like a silver mylar on the inside and a white coating on the outside. Keeps the sun off. I just got it from tree planting company I used to tree plant years ago called Bush Pro, and I like it. I like covering my trailer with it when I deliver because it keeps the sun off and keeps the cold in there. So here we go. Alright, so Jody's in here. Did the bed. So I've just decided to make it easier for now and not do the raised bed because this is just easier. We dumped out some of the dirt from the pots. Jody put down a barrier, just a simple 2x6 barrier to the crush. We're leveling out the crush because we're going to put down these concrete pavers. And that's going to be the floor of the greenhouse going into the fall. So we'll probably, might be the next project that we do, is lay those bricks down. Still a little packing. One of my grocery store customers requested more stuff, and since they're right down the street from me, I was like, okay, I'll bring them more stuff. So doing a little bit more basil. I'm gonna go outside and plant some microgreens. I got Jody, he's doing some packing for us, and Mark's out there washing turnips and radishes for another order that we do tomorrow. Alright, so gonna be planting some sunflower and pea shoots, and I'm gonna give Jody a little lesson, so I might as well give you guys one too.